I wanted to prove a point that also females can also do well in competition, because most people in the competition were guys.
So that was like more than 1,000 people entered the competition, right? And you scooped third position, isn't it? Hope we'll be able to share that money.
Me being part of the competition and making it that far proved that, oh, there are also females out there who can design and who are as good as the men. I wanted to keep it clean, but having details where it's like, oh, this is also something about Africa, our patterns. Africa is not just about the map.
Because I see that most people like just putting a map. Especially for the Africa Must Sing conference, everybody just slapping a map, African map there.
I knew everyone was going to put a map. So I was like, I can put the map, but I won't make it obvious.
No, so let's zoom out a little bit. Creatives in Zambia are not considered to be important. I don't know, I think it's just what we've grown up believing to say, to have a great career that makes money, that is respected, you need to be a doctor, an accountant, all those fields. But for creatives, it's hard.
Design is a really important aspect of building brands, being great brands. The biggest brands we know, Apple, Nike, they all have good creatives. From their adverts to their website, to their social media marketing and everything. They produce quality work because they invested in good creatives. All that is because of designers. So I think like maybe if someone who's running a business understands the value of design, they'll appreciate the people behind the process.
The industry is oversaturated. So you need to find a way just to how you position yourself. Then given how you position yourself also determine the type of clients that you're going to to be getting as well. Or you need to know how to give value to other people. Not just wanting to take or advertising. Oh, come and get my services. Come and get my services.
On today's episode of Duwit, we're talking to someone who's breaking barriers in the Zambian creative scene, Taonga Sakala. Not only is she a rising star in design, digital marketing, and content creation, but she's also one of the few female designers in the country, recently making waves by securing third place in the Africa Must Think design competition. Out of 1,000 participants, she proves what's possible when passion meets hard work. Today, we'll explore her journey, the struggles of being a creative in Zambia, and how does she do it. Plus, we'll also break down the designs that got her that win. Let's dive right in.
Hi, Taonga.
Hi, Mwaka. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Welcome to the Duwit podcast. I'm really excited to have you here. The other week you couldn't come because you're committed. You're busy creating content. I hope that was successful though.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had a successful Black Friday. So I was preparing for Black Friday last weekend. Yeah, for work mostly. And the sales were good on Black Friday. So the marketing worked.
Oh yeah? Really? No, that's the stuff we want to hear. So I'm really excited. This is going to be a very casual conversation. We're just going to talk about your work, what you've been up to, the amazing work that you are doing. And I think for me, the first thing I want to know is the recent competition that you participated in, which is the Africa Must Think design competition. And you scooped third position, isn't it?
Yeah, I did.
Out of 1,000 people, right? Well, that's a huge milestone. When you first saw the post being posted by Dumisani on his social media page, what was your first reaction and what motivated you to take part in it?
Okay, so when I saw the competition, I saw the prize. What motivated me was
the money, right?
The money. I was like, if I win that money, I can do a lot with it. But eventually it became more than the money. I wanted to prove a point that also females can also do well in competitions, and there are female designers in Zambia. Because there's like a stereotype of having male designers alone. So me being part of the competition and making it that far proved that, oh, there are also females out there who can design and who are as good as the men, the guys. Because most people in the competition were guys. I didn't see any females in the top 20. There are guys only. So I was like the only female amongst guys. So I had to prove a point that also us, we can do it.
So that was like more than 1,000 people entered the competition, right?
Yeah, more than 1,000. I'm not sure how many females were there, but the ratio is really low. Like there's not a lot of female designers out there. And female designers to look up to like, oh, they're doing the most, unless outside the country is where I've seen like more female designers doing the most in the industry. But in Zambia, I haven't seen many. So me doing that competition and also making it that far was to show other young designers who are female or who are trying to make it, and they're female, that okay, even as a girl you can make it.
Yeah.
In this industry, even as a female designer, although it's male dominated, you can make it. And also, I was competing with people who I look up to in the industry, like and who have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
So it was also trying to prove a point, like, oh, I can also compete among you guys, although I look up to you. Yeah, but it was a really good experience overall, and it challenged me as well to like do better design, and also opened many opportunities for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So after winning the competition. Well, how did that impact your work and how you look at work?
After winning the competition, okay, it made me realize, okay, research is important before you design. Make sure you have something to look to, like some inspiration. Look at what others have done, and then also do it better. Yeah. So like that book, I don't know if you've read Still Like an Artist. That book is something along those lines. Because even in the competition, I had to like see what others have done in the previous competition, and then do something different in my own style, like in a better way. Yeah. And then previously, when I entered, I didn't even make it.
What do you mean?
No, I mean like you design and it just doesn't even make it to the
the competition. Yeah. Was that the one which was done in 2022? I think just 2022.
Yeah, and it was horrible. I look back, I'm like, nah, that wasn't good.
I think I also participated in that one. I also participated in that one, but it didn't make it anywhere as well. And I think ever since I don't like competitions. I don't like these competitions. I don't know, it's because I don't know what to say. I just don't like those competitions. I think because it carries a lot of time. And when I see the number of people that are participating, I'm just like, nah, this ain't for me. I'm not willing to put my time and energy into competitions. Yeah.
I understand that, but like for young designers, I feel like it's another way to showcase your work and what you're doing. I feel like you've been there in the industry for a while. So I don't think a competition, maybe a competition for winning dollars.
Yeah, maybe.
Like the grand prize is $10,000. You'd be enticed to do that, not maybe 10,000 kwacha. Or 20,000.
Maybe that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we'll see in the future and see the competitions that come up.
Yeah.
So after the design competition, what results did you see? What happened after that?
After the competition, I received new clients, job offers. So like my current job was as a result of the competition. Because the person saw me get the awards. When I went to the award show, the owner of the company was there. So even when I went for like the interviews, it was easy for them to hire me for the job. So and also new clients. I'm working with people who are in big positions in companies, helping them like do social media for their personal brands. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. I wish I also participated. I think also one thing that I've learned that it's important that you put your work out there. I think the author of Still Like an Artist, I think it's Austin Kleon.
It's
also
Austin.
Show your work. You also written a book, Show Your Work.
I've read that book as well.
So it's important that people are able to see your work. Because if you're just living like in a dungeon and nobody sees your work, and you just beat yourself, no, I'm good. Nobody needs to see my work. That's also what has given me a lot of opportunities as well. It is through the videos that I've made in the past. And the reason why I've been able to get the offers that I have, the jobs and all that. So showing your work is really important. So for people who like to hide their work, no, I'll just I'll just do my work and keep it, post it somewhere and not let people know about it. Because at the end of the day, like, the graphic design industry is very crowded. Like there's a lot of designers, and it's very easy for people. It's an easy entry industry. It's not like you're studying medicine.
No,
if there's a few people, but as designers, somebody with a laptop can just get a laptop. They get a cracked version of Photoshop, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a designer." So how do you stand out from other people? It's by showing your work. And that's, I think, the most important thing most people need to know about that.
It's so showing. Even for my first client, I got my first client just by, I started doing passion projects, and then I would post them on Behance, on LinkedIn. Through that, that's how people started coming up to me. I didn't have clients before, but it didn't stop me from doing work. So I did passion projects, just imaginary brands, make a brand identity, and through that, I got clients. People started coming my way because I was showing my work. So I think it is important to show your work, even as a designer. You could be the best, and if no one knows about you, no one will buy from you.
I think that's also another thing. You can be the best designer, but if nobody's seeing your work, I think you're not going to go anywhere.
True.
Okay, so that being said, and I think now we're going to jump into the project. The project that made you in third position, the 10,000. Hope we'll be able to share that money. I'm kidding. So we're just going to see the breakdown of what your thought process was into creating these designs, how you got inspiration, and how you got to making this design stand out from the thousands that were submitted. All right, let's get into it.
All right, no problem.
Okay, so first things first, I'm really impressed with the contrast. Because there's a lot of contrast between the artwork and then the picture of Dumisani here. So in the background, I can see you're using a lot of orange, and then in front here is like in a blue tone. So it really makes him stand out, and people are able to see the picture when they look at the design. When coming up with the font, what font did you use?
So it's mostly like Montserrat. I think mostly that, if I look back. Montserrat. But I use like some form of gold texture and the 3D effect to make it stand out, because Montserrat is very plain, it's like a font that doesn't really stand out. It's not very stylistic, but like I needed it to make it stand out with like the color and the texture.
Okay. I can see that you also like added the texture there. You can also see a drop shadow. And also just the color also makes this text stand out. Because the background, I can see there is like kind of it's a little bit dark. And then the color of the text is more like gold yellow, which makes it stand out. Where did you get inspiration from?
For this, for the poster, I looked at other people's designs, like in the competition previously that were like first place, that were, and then I also looked at how, like, mostly it was about Africa, but I didn't want the cliche African thing in front. Like most people would have put the African map on it, but for me, I just decided that no, I will just I'll put it, there's an African map in the background. If you really look.
It's very subtle.
It's very subtle. I didn't want it to be obvious. So I put it in the back. And then I just got some other, like, how African, we have like a lot of prints in our designs, in our clothing. So I put it in the background so that it's like, I know everything is plain, right? But I wanted to make the background more like details. Like add more details, like in the small details. For me, it was more about the small details and not like having like a grand thing. I wanted to keep it clean, but having details where it's like, oh, this is also something about Africa, our patterns. Africa is not just about the map.
Because I say that most people like just putting a map. Especially for the Africa Must Sing conference, everybody just slapping a map, African map there.
I knew everyone was going to put a map. So I was like, I can put the map, but I won't make it obvious, and I won't make it in a way like everyone else. I know everyone's gonna do a map. And like, how else can I involve Africa? Africa is a vibrant continent. with a lot of minerals and whatnot. So orange tones, reds, patterns. I was like, another thing to stand out is the color. I had to make something impactful, like a color that would stand out, and orange was what did it for me. And gold, together with gold, it mixes well. I feel like I like the contrast between the two.
Yeah. No, this looks really incredible. And also talking about the details, I could see that you added some texture there, like it wasn't just plain. Of course, you added the African prints in the background there. And then you added like some form of texture, so that it's not just plain. And I like that. Even in the text, even though you added gold, you also added like some rough texture. You know, showing the power of the minerals and all that, which makes it really stand out. And I'm glad it's not cliche. And it makes it stand out because there's no map, you know.
There's no map.
And that's the thing about logos sometimes. People want to, because they sell baking products, and so they have to put maybe a cake on their logo, which shouldn't be the thing.
Which is very cliche. And then what if the brand wants to evolve and sell other products that are not into baking? Then they must change the logo. So I feel like sometimes even having a generic logo for a business that sells cakes or what, because Apple has an apple. Do they sell apples?
This is really good. I like everything. I like also the hierarchy on this one especially. I love the hierarchy. You're able to put, when somebody look at this poster, I think the first thing they will notice is his face. For me, I think that's the first thing I see. We see Dumisani's face, which is also like standing out against the background, which is really important in design, contrast. And then from there, your eyes will most definitely take you to Africa Must Think conference. And then you'll look at conference. And then the other thing which I also like is the fact that you only use 2 fonts, which most designers don't know how to do, especially beginners. You find like people are using like, I don't know, 5 fonts in one design. You use it creatively, like you use the bold part of the Montserrat font, you use the regular one, and then here for the small details, I'm sure this was like light.
I usually use medium.
Medium.
Medium, or I rarely use regular because I saw a post by Chris Du where he says never use regular, always use light or medium or board.
I think I also learned that from him. Like you have to create very contrast. Like the contrast has to be there so that people are able to differentiate. So I think this is what I like. This is like well balanced. I love this, and I'm really impressed that you are able to do this.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to enter a competition, a design competition to be specific?
It depends on the rules of the competition. Some are like I've entered many competitions. Some they won't bring it to social media. This one is also more like numbers also played a huge role. So you have to have people who are willing to like like your work, and like you really have to ask for support. But if your poster is really good, you also get support from strangers. So I feel like you have to understand your competition. You understand that there'll be a lot of people in the competition. You'll be competing against thousands of people. You're not going to be alone. So you have to bring your A game. You have to do your research. Don't do the cliche. If you want to stand out, do what's different. Do something that will be like, where people will be like, oh, this is not the same. This is different. I think sometimes being different is what makes you stand out more than doing the same thing. Because if everyone's doing maps of Africa and then you do another map, like, you stand up. You stand out, or you do something else. So I feel like people need to also, before designing, I've realized like you need to do a lot of research in advance. If you do more research, people will do more research when they're designing. You can even see in their design that, okay, this person really thought about their design when they were designing, not just
when it's rushed.
It's rushed. I feel like the research aspect is something I've learned over time, and I've seen the benefits of it.
I think preparation is really important.
And also understanding like the simple principles of design. like hierarchy, contrast. Make sure your poster has that. I know like there's breaking rules, but you have to break them in a way that's when I still see the design, I'm like, wow, this is really good.
Okay. I think understanding the basic of design is really important. I remember when I was starting out, I remember just jumping into Illustrator. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was just started manipulating text. I didn't know what I was doing. So understanding the rules of any field, whatever field that you enter, understanding the foundation is very important. Which I would emphasize to every designer. If you just start with the foundation and understand it, you're going to save a lot of time, you know, and it will be easy for you to design for people and your post will be able to stand out. I think that's really important. Something which I missed. Like
I think even I learned it like later. Graphics design basics, like the principles of design, hierarchy, color, typography, balance, white space. Those things are like when you see a design, that's what you're looking at. How does it flow? Like, what do you want to stand out in the design? That's your hierarchy. Like, do I want to see, like, for example, in the Africa Must Sing poster, if you want the design to be the first thing that pops up or the title, you decide that and then you design that. You lead your viewer to see what
you want them to see. Okay. That's really important. Thanks for breaking down this project with me. I hope our viewers have been able to pick one or two things. Back to our conversation. So after breaking down your project, now I want to know, like, how did you find yourself in the creative field? I know you studied web and software development at Northridge University. How did you make that decision from, like, that's like a tech space and now in the creative field? How did that happen?
Okay, it was a mistake.
It was a mistake? Okay.
That's what I'll say. So before going to Northridge, right? I was planning to go to the USA. So I was actually trying to go to the USA. I even applied to art school. I wanted to go to art school.
Wow.
But it was expensive. I actually got accepted into like a graphics design school. So, but it was so expensive. And it was like pension money for a semester. So that dream died and I found myself at Northridge. And I was told what I'm studying is the same as graphics design, but it's not.
Who told you that?
I was strict. Isn't it the person who was advertising the school?
For real?
No, it's just the same. It's just the same thing. She'll come in. So in me, I went in thinking like, oh, it's similar. But when I entered it into school, I started school. It wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same.
It was so different.
You're just programming and seeing numbers, ones and zeros.
I was learning C#, how to code, more coding, more like tech.
More tech.
Left brain things.
Logical stuff.
More logical. But you also need some form of creativity, but mostly logical. So it was a bit difficult, but it didn't stop me from learning graphics design. So while I was doing school, I started learning, teaching myself graphics design. I used to follow a lot of Nigerians. I would pay for their courses, learn. I've learned copywriting from a Nigerian. Design, I learned from YouTube, and then also Bob Banda, he also used to do a lot of book design, book covers. So I entered one of his Photoshop courses. And you know how I started graphics design? Through my phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was doing it on like PixArt.
For real?
I would manipulate people into like cartoons. Then my dad bought me a tablet, so he saw the potential. And then I started learning Illustrator just by drawing people into cartoons. That's how I started learning. So I would draw people into cartoons, but I was charging so low. I would spend like 6 hours just drawing people into a cartoon, and then I would charge them like 50 kwacha for it. Looking back, I'm like, right?
That's a lot of money.
A lot of money. So I switched. I started doing like cover art for artists. like mostly upcoming artists, they realized I was so broke. I was just like, nah.
I'm so broke. Yeah.
Upcoming artists.
Oh, the upcoming artists. Yeah.
So I was just like, let me start learning corporate stuff like logos, brand identity. That's how I started learning. Then Chris those are the guys I started following and learning more about the business side.
Design.
The business of design, brand identity. Yeah, and then before graduating, I graduated this year. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But thank you. But I started work before graduation because of design.
Yeah.
So I learned these skills in uni, and I was doing freelance works for people.
Yeah.
In my free time, I would take time to do work, and then through that, I got an internship with SPEN as an intern, a design intern. Yeah. That's how I switched to online school.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my only opportunity. So I switched to online school. And then I finished uni while doing design. Now I'm full-time creative.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, now just on that, the creative field is like, most parents wouldn't encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
How was that conversation with your parents, knowing that you wanted to be in the creative field? Did they encourage you in that path, or there was
My dad was
conflict?
very supportive.
Oh yeah.
He even bought me a tablet, like a Wacom tablet.
Wow.
It's just that my brother destroyed it. Yeah, that's how I learned how to draw people into cartoons. That's how I learned Illustrator.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think my parents have been supportive with me as a designer and what I want to do. And now that I'm reaping the fruits of what I've been doing, they are more supportive of it. But even before, when it started in high school, I loved art. Art was like my favorite subject.
Yeah.
So I would draw. They would see I like drawing and whatnot. Then it just translated into graphics design.
Yeah.
I actually also went to tailoring school for fun.
Oh, really? For fun.
In my gap year. So I know how to sew clothes. So yeah, I've just been that person who likes
the creative stuff.
Yeah, creative stuff. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's encouraging. Because it's rare, like, for parents to support you, especially in Zambia.
Yeah.
I don't know. There are few parents or guardians that would support their child to go in the creative field.
Yeah.
Because I think it also comes from there isn't much money and all that. Like for me, everybody wanted me to be a doctor or a dentist or something.
Yeah.
But I knew what I wanted to do, and so I pursued that path.
Yeah.
There was some resistance in the beginning, but now after they started seeing the results, I think now that's when, you see now more people like being supportive, your relatives, and people who are telling you to say, oh no, this is what you need to do. But I think the industry is growing now, and I think more parents should be more supportive of what their children want, and to guide them correctly.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And I've been seeing a lot of jobs for like creatives popping up now. Like even ZRA was looking for a designer. If the government is looking for a designer, then there's more job opportunities. I feel like the creative space has a lot of money. You just have to know where to get the money.
I think so too.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in there, and you just have to know. You have to be, as you said before, show your work. That's how opportunities will start coming to you. That's when money will start following you. Because most of the time these days, I don't follow money. Like, start following. People come to me. So that's how that's how it has to be. If you show your work, people will start coming to you. Oh, I need this design. You make money today. You could be broke today, tomorrow you have money. Because someone came like, oh, I need another design or something like that. Yeah. And even if I'm working full time, I can still make money from side things. That's a good part about being a creative. There's many ways to make money from it. From the industry. Yeah.
No, that's really encouraging and motivating, and I think that's what most people need to do. Of course, the industry is oversaturated. Because it's an easy entry industry, like I said before. And so you need to find a way just to how you position yourself. I think even how you position yourself also determine the type of clients that you're going to to be getting as well. And I think also just know how you can give value to other people. You need to know how to give value to other people, not just wanting to take or advertising. Oh, come and get my services. Come and get my services. I don't remember the last time I also like advertised my work.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've.
I feel like you.
I think when I was starting out, I don't. Ever since that time, I don't think I've ever.
I like how you advertise your work. You don't. You do it in a subtle way. You do it in a subtle way. Like your videos will be like, "Oh, this was what I was working on."
Yeah.
It's kind of like showcasing your work, but through like a project you did.
Yeah.
And then people see your work. Yeah, I actually admire how you do your work, like how you post, the work you've been doing, like how you design like office spaces, like the interior part. Yeah, that's really dope. Like it's cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it's also a matter of finding a way in which you can stand out.
Yeah,
and I think many designers just come and get my services. We're going to make you epic designs. And all that. Find a way to give value to people. And I think what I do through my videos is
you educate.
Like I worked on this project, and this is the process that I went through, and people are able to understand. Oh, this person understand what they were doing in this project, and people are able to see. I like just saying, "Oh, come and get my services.
Oh yeah,
this is what I do," and trying to just forcing people to come and do your services.
Oh yeah, true.
I think that also applies to many other businesses as well.
Oh yeah, and I'm like, I feel like people like seeing a process of something.
Yeah.
How you got to the end goal, like what did you go through, and you explain that through your videos, which makes people like, oh, this is what happens. He doesn't just go and like design. There's a process. He needs to research, and that also makes you stand out, and also you can charge a premium price for that.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
So being a female designer in Zambia, I know it has come with a lot of challenges, and like the conversation we've had before is that there's a few designers even in just Zambia. Like there's a few female designers that you see or that you look up to and say, oh, this is a female designer that I can look up to. Of course, in other fields, like there's a lot of like female that are doing very great, amazing things. But when it comes to design and digital marketing that you're doing, there's a few designers. What challenges have you faced in that field? And what has that journey been like? You know, you're facing, other male designers that are very good at what they do.
Yeah.
How has that been?
I feel like I always have to like prove a point. Like I'm also as good as the next guy. So as a female, I feel like we need more females like in the design space. I feel like there's a lot of room for more people to come in. Especially female designers. And as a female designer, I feel like we also need like more opportunities, like, I feel like males have like more opportunities. Okay, yeah, I have opportunities because I put myself in places where I would stand out. But you have to push, whether male or female designer, to stand out. But I think for me, the challenge has been I've always wanted to work in like in an agency, right? But I've never had luck. I've never had luck in getting a job in an agency. And most agencies have like male designers. And then the females are like the copywriters. The maybe digital marketing, account managers. Designers, female designers. Mostly, if you go to like these creative agencies and you check how many female designers, usually it's like there's no one.
Yes, more male dominated.
Yeah, it's more male dominated. So it's challenging, but like it's through challenges that you grow more. That you push more. Yeah.
And what's your word to other female designers who are aspiring
to become great designers? Work hard.
Straightforward.
It's tough. Work hard. Push yourself. Push yourself. Don't be intimidated by other guys. You can do as good as they are doing. Practice. Design is all about practice. Being updated with trends, like what's happening always keep growing as a designer. Show your work. That's how you'll be seen.
That's how you'll be seen.
Yeah. Show your work.
Maybe just adding to that, especially on the female side, I think it's also, we're now seeing the world opening up to females getting more opportunities. We have seen other fields like STEM, like there's more people promoting that. When it comes to businesses, there are now a lot more programs that are supporting women.
Yeah, and a lot of female CEOs.
Yeah, and a lot of female CEOs. So I think even it should be the same, even like in the design field as well. I think people should should encourage even females to also take part in this. And I think also what you mentioned to say confidence as well. I think confidence is really important.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had also opportunities. I mean, there are best designers out there who are way better than the work I do. But because of showing my work, you get a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
And it also comes from being confident in what you're doing. And to say, if that person is able to do that, I can definitely do that as well.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what I've also like seen in you, even what you said in the first place, to say, they need to have confidence to say, you don't need to be scared of anybody.
Yeah.
You can do what they can do and even do way better and surpass the work that they're doing. Yeah. I hope we have more females getting into this field.
Yeah, I hope so too. I hope they're watching.
Yeah.
But I've seen some female designers. I'm friends with some.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing good work. We just need like more giants, you know, more female giants in the industry. Yeah, so we need to keep pushing.
No, so let's zoom out a little bit. Creatives in Zambia are not considered to be important. So even like in the workplaces, they're not considered to be like very important people. I don't know, I think it's just like what we've grown up believing, to say, to have a good career to have a great career that makes money, that is respected.
Yeah.
You need to study either medicine, you need to be a doctor, an accountant, all those fields.
Yeah.
But for creatives,
it's hard.
It's hard.
I feel like it's because we don't really even have courses, like degrees. There's no like graphics. It's just now where I've seen Open University.
Yeah, Open Window University.
Yeah, they're offering the graphics design as a degree. But before, most of us are self-taught. Yeah. You just went YouTube, laptop, you start designing. So I feel like that's why like the corporate world doesn't really respect design. Although design is really a really important aspect of building brands, being great brands. The biggest brands we know, Apple, Nike, they all have good creatives. Like their adverts, from their adverts to their websites, to their social media marketing and everything. They produce quality work because they invested in good creatives, in designers. All that is because of designers. So I feel like Zambians, I think we're still growing as an industry in Zambia. Although, there's a saturation of designers. And also, I don't think a lot of people understand what quality design is and then what's like bad design. So I think there's a gap that needs to be filled, like educating people what we bring to the table, like what value does design bring to your business? How does design impact your business? In what way? So I think like maybe if someone who's running a business understands the value of design, they'll appreciate the people behind the process, like behind the design.
I think so too. And I think also education is also a part of it. And I think there's only like Zamcom, like which had been, I don't know if they do graphic design specifically.
Even NIPA.
NIPA. Yeah, it's NIPA as well. They also do that. But it's only at what?
Diploma level.
So I think also like educating more designers. I think the challenge is that other designers are like, don't know what they're doing. And so it's very difficult for people like in businesses to be able to trust them. But again, education again is also expensive. When you look at Open Window University, it's like super expensive as well. But if there could be more schools more schools that are introducing graphic design and every other aspect of the creative field, like filmmaking and all that, fashion design, I think we'll have more people who are more professional. Even when they're approaching their work, they are more professional, which is really important.
I think that's what makes people understand. Of why I think open is expensive. It's like even the softwares we use as designers are not cheap. Like equipment, like a camera is like 30p. And then like software, like Adobe is $60 per month, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And there are other softwares that you need to pay. There's Inverto Elements, FreePic, where you need to get the elements from. And people don't understand like also the investment that goes into it. Like, a good enough laptop to run Photoshop is above like 7 pin.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so maybe that's why it's more on the expensive side. But I feel like if we had a range of schools where it's like there's an expensive school, there's a cheaper school, because not everyone is rich enough to go to certain schools. Or maybe the university can offer like scholarships to deserving people.
I think like the way they do with other programs as well. I think if even that was introduced, that would be really great.
And then another thing is also introducing these courses in like University of Zambia as a graphics.
Copperbelt, filmmaking, that would be really great.
Yeah, that could be really great. That's when I think if the government gets involved, I feel like that's when we'll be taken more seriously.
Yeah. Because in workplaces, when people don't understand what you do,
they think we play on the laptop.
When they find you looking at pictures, looking at design, social media, what is this guy doing? Like,
he's just playing.
He just plays on.
But you're trying to get inspiration from what other people are doing.
Despite all these challenges, you have a degree in web and software development. I mean, we face a lot of challenges, especially in workplaces, especially when we're dealing with corporate people. It's really difficult for them to understand you or the work that you're doing. So how has that motivated you to keep going? I mean, you can advertise that you are a web and software developer and you can just go that route. And just switch.
I feel like
kept you going?
I think it's my passion for design. Like I love designing. I don't just design because of the money. I design because of like, I love to create. Like when I see my work, like, oh, I did that. I created that. Like there's that joy, you know, that you can't explain when you see your work, like, wow. I feel like I get that from design. So I don't think I would leave design. Because in IT, I know I'll be miserable.
Miserable, right?
I'll be miserable. Like when I remember when I was in school, when I'm learning the coding and stuff like that, I was like, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? I'll be miserable. Because you also need passion. Because just working just generally for the money, you can just, I would go insane. So for me, it's more of the passion for design and arts, creative. I've always loved being artistic.
For me as well, it has been about the passion. Because I can't imagine myself being in another field. I think I would also be miserable, like you said. I think I wouldn't manage to do routine tasks. Like, for example, an accountant. You're basically doing like the same things over and over again, which is, for me, I like being spontaneous. I like my work being dynamic. Today I'm working on this type of design. The other day I'm working on this type of design. And so doing the same thing every day will like really frustrate me. I think that's how I am as a person as well. I need to have things that are challenging me in different ways, thinking in this direction and just one thing in a logical way. Now that we've talked about the challenges that we have in the creative field in Zambia, do you think that is ever going to change, or are we seeing that change happening?
I think slowly, but surely there's a change. And more companies there are more jobs for creatives now in the corporate space, and more opportunities for creatives. So I feel like slowly Zambian corporate companies are beginning to understand the value of design, because also most businesses are coming online, and in the online space to thrive, you need a creative behind your page to get people's attention and whatnot. So I think because of that, now people are beginning to understand the value of design. But we're still a long way.
Still a long way to go. You create a lot of content on your LinkedIn. On your Facebook as well. As a person who's like trying to help people resonate with the content that you're creating. So how are you creating that content that resonates with people?
Firstly, I need to understand the audience and who I'm like designing the content for. So like that's very important. If I understand them, it's easy for me to create content that they understand as well. For example, like right now I'm working with Luona. Their audience is quite like more Zambian. Like it's a more Zambian audience. So I kind of have to speak vernacular. It's not really my thing, but because of the work and the audience, I have to put it in the post. So I have to do more research on like, okay, what do people say? How are these words said in Bemba, Nyanja, and whatnot, and put it into the content so that it's in a context of where the audience and the brand, they understand that. So it's more like a Zambian type of brand. So it's different to what I was previously doing, where it was fintech. More tech people, tech savvy people. Now it's more Zambian people like Vanachite. So yeah, speaking to like it's more female, it's more females who like buying like stuff like that. So I'm speaking to more female audience. Maybe they're a bit older. They buy, so it's understanding who you're speaking to. So when you understand who you're speaking to, you know what to say to them. And that's how they'll respond to your brand, and you have good engagement on the pages.
Oh, that's good. I think that's one thing. I think also as designers or as people who are marketing work, I think that's one important aspect. You need to know who you're designing for. Because sometimes we'll bring in on our own personal preferences, which won't appeal to the people that you're targeting. So I think you have to be selfless sometimes and design something that resonates with the people that you're designing for or that you're creating for. The target audience, you understand their pain points and all that. So I think that's really important in engaging the people that you want to reach out to.
Because if you design for a Zambian audience, you start designing things with a lot of big words. Things that they don't understand,
they won't relate.
And also using like white people. You use a white person in a brand, but you're targeting black people. They won't relate. So that means they won't even buy your products or be interested in buying, because they'll be like, Fiavazungu. So understanding that is important.
Definitely. I think your perspective of the world is very different from the different type of people that you design for. And also there's also that aspect of the way you grow up also influences the way you do your work. The way you say certain things. And so how do you detach yourself from that in order for you to create for the right audience?
I think that's a good question. For that, usually I do a lot of research and also going on ground. Like, interacting with the actual people helps you understand it from... Also, interacting with people from different backgrounds will help you understand, like, oh, these are the types of people I'm interacting. Like, you go by the marketplace, you interact with Vanachite, buy veggies from them, you understand how they do things. Like, even having conversations with people, even other pages, I see like how that are similar to the brand. You see how they interact, what they say to their audience, and you see, okay, did this do well? No. If not, yes. How can I do it better? How can I do it in the same way but different, tailored to my brand, and still get good results?
So iterating is very important. You see what works and what doesn't work.
Even see what your competitors are doing. And see,
what's
like,
working for them.
You see what your competitors are doing and see, like, oh, this is working. So we're in the same industry. It can also work for
them
for us. So you don't just copy and paste. You copy still like an artist.
Still like an artist.
I'll keep saying that.
No, that's pretty good. All right, Taonga, it's now time for the rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yes. I am ready.
Okay. So one way to describe your design.
I think clean. Clean and simple.
Clean and simple.
Yeah.
Nice. What's the best advice you've ever received?
Okay, so best advice is show your work.
Show your work.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Show your work, because through showing my work, that's how I've gotten opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I've been able to get better clients, better opportunities, better job opportunities. And it's led me more to it opened more doors for me by showing my work and being active online, like showing my work online. And yeah, I think that's the best advice I've received.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing your work and not being afraid. Because there's always this imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Where am I even good enough?
Yeah.
But I think try and beat that and just show your work. Even if you don't think it's the most perfect work out there, you don't know who's watching. I've seen people who they just show their work consistently and then opportunities just come their way. It might not be in a few months, but after years, someone just comes to them and says, I've been watching you for years.
Yeah.
I would like to give you this opportunity. It happens like that. So show your work, whether you get 0 likes, 1 like, just keep on going. You don't know who's watching you. Maybe one of the 2 people liking is someone very important who can literally change your life in a split second. Yeah.
Cool. If you could, third question, if you could collaborate with any agency or brand globally, which one would it be? Or who would it be?
Well, I think Chris Do.
Chris Do.
Yeah.
Nice. Why?
Because Chris Do is literally someone who's inspired me throughout my creative journey. From the start, I followed him from the start of learning design, and he's someone who understands design even from a business perspective.
Yeah.
He doesn't just understand creating good design, but he also understands design of creating good business out of design.
Yeah.
So he would be the guy.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I think I would also pick him because from him, I think his motto has been doing the work that you love or getting paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's also important.
I think that's the unsexy side of the design business. Yeah. So the processes, the accounts, those are also important. Pricing, that's what we neglect, but those are very important. You can be a great designer, but if you don't know how to price, you don't know how to run business, you don't know customer service, you will lose out.
Charging $250 for a logo.
Yeah. So I think also learning, we're learning and evolving. Maybe when starting out, $250 might not be bad, but eventually it has to increase.
I mean, I've been there. Designed a logo for 100 kwacha.
Yeah. Logos are hard to do. You have to think.
Yeah. One software or 2 you can't live without.
Illustrator.
Adobe Illustrator.
Yeah, Adobe Illustrator.
Nice.
Because you can do everything in that software.
You can do everything in that software.
From banners, logos to posters. You can all do it. You can do it in Illustrator. So I think that's one. I would rather have Illustrator than anything else. Software. Yeah. Even from billboards, you can design in Illustrator. So for me, it's Illustrator. Maybe because I also learned it first. So I have a bias towards it. Even magazines can be designed in Illustrator. You can draw in Illustrator. Have you seen?
Tell me about it.
There's so many things you can do in
the Photoshop people are coming for you.
Photoshop is also another one.
Yeah. Sorry, but it's only one. You only pick one.
Yeah.
So Illustrator.
Illustrator is my thing.
Great.
It's number one.
The dream projects that you would like to work on one day.
Dream project. That's a good one. I need to think on this one. I would love to work on a full brand identity, for a big corporation, be part of the team, from start to finish. From research, design, execution, or a big campaign, a big campaign. I think that's That's what I would like a successful campaign where afterwards, like,
I want to see the results.
Yeah, the results are massive. I think that's what I would want to do.
No, that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Taonga, thank you so much for coming. I think you're such a big inspiration. I think the first time I saw your work was back in maybe 2020, somewhere there. The first time I saw your work, and as being one of the few female designers in the industry, I think you're inspiring a lot of upcoming designers as well.
Yeah.
The way you're teaching them and all that, I think it's really inspiring. And yeah, I was glad to have you here and show us how you do it. Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad to have this conversation. I've really learned a lot about you and your process. Now also our audience has gotten one or two things, and yeah, they're able to relate. So if you could maybe share, where can people find you online?
Online.
Don't share your address, your physical.
No, I don't want people coming to my physical address. Online, on Facebook, TikTok, the Zambian Female Hustler. That's like my And then on LinkedIn, I'm Taonga Sakala.
And your work?
My work, my Behance. Taonga Sakala. It's if you go to my LinkedIn, you view my portfolio. That's the that's a link to my work. If you want to see my work, just go to my LinkedIn or you search on Behance Taonga Sakala. You'll find me.
Great. Thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.